आज के मुरली की शुरुआत करते हैं। Today's Murli is revised Murli from 18/4/1977, and the title of the Murli is "The seed of every action of a worthy teacher will bear fruit. It will not be wasted. The seed of every action of a worthy teacher will bear fruit. It will not be wasted." It's a Murli where Bab Dada is meeting with the teachers. Teachers means those who teach. What does a teacher mean? Here, a teacher means one who is an embodiment of teachings. What is the easiest way to give the greatest teaching? So Baba is asking us, children, especially the teachers, what is the easiest way to give the greatest teaching? So there are many ways, many types of facilities for teaching. What is the easiest way of teaching? To give teaching through your form and not through your lips. Sakar Baba gave teachings in the easiest way through his form. So it was through his actions and through his state of being that Baba had taught children how to conduct themselves on the spiritual path. He did not teach just through words, but also through actions. It's not that others would learn from what you tell them, but Baba's mantra was, whatever I do, others who see me will do the same. So the easiest method of teaching is through your form. No matter how much you explain to others, you are a soul, an embodiment of peace and an embodiment of knowledge. That person will not understand unless you yourself are stable in that state. The study taught through experience becomes imperishable to that extent. The study taught by the teacher through their own experience becomes imperishable for the one who is learning to the extent that that experience is strong in the teacher. So how do you teach? Through words or through your form? A worthy teacher teaches many souls through her every step. A worthy teacher would be someone who teaches not just through their words, but through their every step. Everything that they do will become something that others could copy, could learn from. This path of spirituality is not something that we've taken for a long time. We've all followed the path of bhakti. But now here, Baba's Gyan, the spiritual path, is the path of self-awareness. It's the path of coming back to what we are, to living our own qualities, living the knowledge. So how to is the big question. Well, on the spiritual path. So how do I do this? Baba says it's the teacher who demonstrates for the students through their every act, every step. So Baba says, a worthy teacher teaches many souls through her every step. She makes others into embodiments of the teachings through her lectures or the 7 days course. The words spoken by such a teacher are not just versions, but elevated versions. Because every word is not that, every word is one that makes others elevated. So every word spoken is with the intention of elevating souls. And so they are not just ordinary words, they are not just versions, but they are elevated versions. Every action is one that gives the fruit of making others elevated. Without the intention of making others elevated, an action could go empty. But here Baba says that for such a teacher, every action is one that gives the fruit of making others elevated. Karma is the seed, and the result is the fruit of karma. The seeds of karma of such teachers would be fruitful. So everything that is done is with an intention, and the intention is to bring upliftment, to elevate brother souls. And with that intention, when actions are performed, they are all meaningful. Nothing is wasted. In fact, everything is potentially powerful. Every action would have the potential of elevating someone. That much attention is then given to every thought, every action. Baba says, if the seed is powerful, then the fruit that emerges from it should be very good. Every seed of karma would be fruitful. It would not be wasted. So this is known as being a worthy teacher. Just as there is praise for Brahma Baba's thoughts as to how he created a new world through just one thought, so too every thought of a worthy teacher would enable her to have all rights to the new world. Brahma Baba is the one who created the new world. So we're not creating the new world, but Baba says that every thought of a worthy teacher would enable her to have rights to the new world. Do you understand? This is the definition of a teacher. Baba's defined teacher. The definition of teacher is someone whose every karma is powerful, the seed is powerful, so that the seed gives fruit. And the seed is naturally, it is the thought. And from thought springs the action. So Bible says, teachers also have the gift of a lift. What is that? To be a teacher means to renounce old relationships. A teacher has the fortune of this renunciation as a gift of a lift. You have already had the first renunciation. So, what is the first renunciation? The first renunciation is that of relationships. You've already renounced them, all the body relations. Renunciation starts from renouncing the body consciousness. Baba has said that along with the body, all the body relations have to be forgotten. So Baba is saying that the first renunciation, you have already renounced relationships. The list of further renunciation is a long one. However, the renunciation and the thought of remaining courageous and of being cooperative becomes a gift for a lift. So, what is the gift of a lift? So, I was talked about a couple of things. It is one, the renunciation, and along with renunciation is courage, the thought of remaining courageous, and third, it is of being cooperative. So that is the gift of lift. If you have full renunciation, you can become a gift for the Father and for the world. So here Baba is saying that it's not that the teacher would receive a gift, but the teacher would give a gift or become a gift. Baba says that that is a gift to Baba and to the world because such a teacher would be an instrument, a worthy instrument for other souls. It's the courage of the teacher, the courage to follow Srimad, the courage to face difficulties or to face situations with one determination, with one faith. And it is the desire of or the intention or the motivation of a teacher to help, to cooperate. So renunciation, courage, and cooperation makes a teacher a gift to the world. It's such a beautiful thing that Baba shared today. That it's not that you want to receive gifts, but it's that you can become a gift. Become such a lift that as soon as you sit in the lift, you reach your destination and you don't have to make any effort. Teachers have many chances, but only those who want to take them will take them. Everyone sings the praises of the fortune of becoming a teacher and desires the same. Everyone wants to become a teacher because being a teacher is a big fortune. And so everyone desires also to become a teacher. As Baba says, Others have this desire, and so it means the fortune of the teacher is elevated. Each one is number wise and keeping it constantly elevated. Teachers can easily make their fortune as bright as they want, but only those who are worthy teachers can do this. You are not teachers who are happy with just a little, are you? With which vision does Bab Dada look at the teachers? Baba says he looks at the teachers as his equals because Father is also the teacher. When a teacher sees another teacher, she sees her as her equal. And there would be happiness from seeing your equals. Teachers would be constantly content. To question them means to insult your equals. The teacher to Baba is someone who is equal to Baba because Baba is also a teacher. And among teachers, Baba said that if when you see a teacher, you'll be happy because you're seeing someone who is your equal. Teachers are always content. The teacher would be one who is always content, constantly content, and to question their contentment is like an insult to your equals. Acha Om Shanti. So that is today's Murli. The core aspect of today's Murli is, though the Murli is for teachers, aren't we all teachers in some way or the other? Haven't we all become one with Baba? Haven't we all promised Baba that these are everything? And haven't we all renounced our relationships? But then still the onus is on teachers, those who have surrendered to Baba in all forms. And it's not just surrender. Baba said it's not just surrender, but it is the surrender of our relations, to have only one relation, to have just one Baba and nobody else, and to have the courage to follow the path, to have the courage to face one's own weaknesses, to overcome them, to have the courage to forge ahead no matter what would be the external difficulties. And most importantly, the whole idea of becoming a teacher is to become cooperative. It's not just for oneself, but also for others. When you become a teacher, you're not just making efforts for yourself, but you're also making the efforts that you make would also determine the state of the students or other souls you are responsible to serve. And so Baba said the teacher is someone who is an embodiment of teachings. And that's a very new concept compared to what teachers are thought of in the world. So the task of a teacher is not just to teach through words, but through each and every action. That is such a powerful message from today's Abhyat Murli. So now we're open to sharing. So whoever wants to share, you can go ahead and start sharing. So does anyone want to share? Rakhi Ben?
Om Shanti Devi. A complete new aspect that Baba has mentioned today in the Murli is a teacher just not teaches, but it's their embodiment, the way of their being, teaches the whole world. And a simple example that each one of us experiences when we visit the centers and we meet the sisters. Only their presence makes a difference, whether they speak any word or not. But just being in their vibration gives a lot of peace and happiness. And that's the living example of how being an embodiment of the teachings themselves, the teacher keeps an impact on each and every human being that comes in their contact and under their vibration. That's what one of the reflection that got me while we were reading the Murli. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Baba says, teachers an embodiment of peace, an embodiment of knowledge. So, uh, they really show the world through their features. And when, we go to sender, and we are being taught by such great teachers, we'll, back in our mind, we'll have that thought that, of course, we also want to become an embodiment like them, how they experience, Baba's company, and how they follow Baba's Srimad, and we will be inspired to follow such, Srimad and the way they walk. Basically, people who go there will be inspired to follow the path, follow their footsteps. Basically, they inspire a lot from Shanti. Thank you.
Om Shanti, sister. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
For me, this is a very relevant kind of what I should say exploration. Why? Because I've spent even professionally in my professional life teaching. And I really enjoyed the process more than not what I taught, but what is the change I could create in the minds of those beautiful flowers. And second, the gleam which you see from those who listen to you. So that is what realized in me, yes, whatever I'm doing is of some value, something which gives you a fulfillment within you, something, a merit of mine, which has really brought about some changes in the one whom I'm teaching. I think this is what we call as worth when we see an ordinary worthy teacher. And today, if you see in the world, every educationist, he says education is fractured, teaching is fractured. There is no balance between what we want to teach, that is planning, and how to teach, what we call it as the pedagogy. So much there itself, we have educations, we have bachelors in educations, we have masters in educations, and they really try to put in us something to see whatever we teach or the change which we want to bring about in children is worth. And then the key point is always learner's viewpoint. There are many routes, of course, but one of the point which I have seen over here is learner's viewpoint. But take it from here. What is teacher over here? Such an incognito. I know no need for me to do any B.Ed and M.Ed or thing. I have already a set curriculum and a set model, and with God as my supreme teacher. Everything is set. his role as a teacher, if I really sit down and see the daily teaching, he comes every morning and how tirelessly and sweetly, lovingly he speaks to his children. That itself, the base I think I like as a teacher. So, and over here, Baba mentions about from the beginning as a teacher, when I give the 7 days course, that, as Baba rightly said, if I'm just going to say you are a soul, you're a soul, and that happened to me personally. When day one, when somebody came and just told you are a soul, you're a soul, I just told them, excuse me, this is already there in the Bhagavad Gita. Can you tell me something else? So I understand why it's so important. Even in that, our form should speak, not our lips. Our actions should speak. Our actions should show no waste. Then that creates a lovely impression. So because human spirit is like a seed, and God is our supreme teacher. God is giving us light, knowledge, and when we give it, we have to water it with love. Then I can say, if I am a worthy teacher, according to Baba today, I can create divinity in all these people, all these flowers. So the job of a teacher, even Lokik, is beautiful. And I think here I have a wonderful role model. Brahma Baba is there, but more than Brahma Baba, I have listening to his Murlis, I think his actions, his behavior, that itself is a role model for me. That's what is so unique about this teaching. Om Shanti.
Yes, Om Shanti. Very true. Because, this is not the regular path that we've taken. It's a new path. So we do need someone who demonstrates to us how do we walk on this path and how do we go about renunciation, how do we connect to God in a meaningful way, such so that it becomes a basis for us to uplift ourselves and others. So yes, Brahma Baba uh, has been an inspiration, a model for those who were with him in Sakar, but also those who were born after the Avyakt part. And though we haven't seen Brahma Baba physically, but all the stories that Dadis share, the one who were with him, all the stories that they've shared about Brahma Baba, and we can also feel uh, the intentions, we can feel the pure uh, motivation that Brahma Baba had and pure love he had for not only Baba but also for the creation. It can be felt when we are, when we hear these stories and when we are in Baba's room and we are remembering Shibaba, but also all that Brahma Baba has done through his life to this day is such a great inspiration. And when Shibaba, the supreme teacher, praises his most worthy teacher and puts him as a sample in front of us. Let's see, this is how you conduct yourself. This is how, you become someone who has received all the treasures, received all the inheritance through complete renunciation. So yes, he is a powerful teacher.
While Girjaban was sharing and Didi, you took it forward to explain us. For me, the living example is my Nimit teacher, uh, who had been always available to give the sustenance. And Ninaben, today I acknowledge you. Ninaben is in practically someone who has given that sustenance to me from almost last 6 years, been a complete example of giving the gift of the lift to uplift the student. So thank you so much, Ninaben, for you being that instrument and a living example of a teacher, what Baba speaks today through the Murli. Thank you so much.
Can I just add one more thought, sister?
Yeah.
And over here, even if you see, in law kick teachers, when we teach, they always, we don't teach all the 40 students in a class the same way. We know who are the ones who just need a little touching. We know some who are really, whose brain or mind is to be opened to put in. And this is what is the Lokik teaching, a beautiful, I tell you, a beautiful profession if you really do it with a passion. And it's such a beautiful journey. And according to Indian standards and all, they say you may not be properly rewarded even. But the journey when we do, like for me, even that thing when a child's eyes looks up to you and say, "Ma'am, good morning," it really makes a lot of a difference. I think that passion which we had over there, over here, Baba is now taking you to an unlimited classroom. He's saying everyone's pulse. And see, Baba, does he see a black spot in any of his children? No. He just never sees, he sees the divine virtues in us. And then he lifts us. I always used to think, the picture of Brahma Baba, like he picks me up in his hands and he puts me in his long pockets. But I am so naughty. I climb out through the pocket and I fall down on the ground. Then he is just looking somewhere. He sees that again, he picks me up and then he puts me up in his pocket. Then I said, oh, I shouldn't trouble the old man. It's just a vision. Such a kind of vision when it's there with our Lord. And we are now into not these kind of teaching. We have taught enough these minds. It's an unlimited classroom. And that last line, if you see, I think that is absolutely perfect. Baba sees me as a teacher, as his equal, and I should see every teacher as equal. I think that's the limit. I don't think it happens in Lokik. I don't look at other teacher as my equal. I would like to be better than her. I would like to be called as the best. But that one sentence, Baba, how he sees me as equal. Similarly, each teacher sees another teacher as equal. That's beautiful.
Yes, sister, you rightly pointed out that there is a lot of competition in the Lokik world. Uh, but here, you feel, here, when we meet teachers, we feel a lot of happiness. Uh, in reality, actually, when you see any BK, you feel very happy because we are one family. But that's one part. And here, when you see teachers also, we feel very happy because you rightly said, Baba looks at us as equals. And so when we meet someone who's our equal, there's certainly a lot of happiness rather than competition. There's certainly the vision to, or the desire to learn from each other. How, how you, each one of us, how we go about our own self progress and how we go about helping others along the way. So yeah, that is true.
Sister, can you honestly share with me something, because I have no experience, and Rakhi Ben looks up to you as a beautiful teacher who gives a gift of lift. Does it really happen in a Brahmin life? Whenever we see someone better than us rendering the Murli, better than us giving courses, better than in lectures, are we at the same balance? Do we tell Baba, you have never given me a chance, you have given that soul a chance? Does this happen? And if it does happen, even for a second, how should one? I mean, it's just I'm asking you, honest, because you're in so much in this gift of lift. So what is it? Because that's what is happening in today's world. I would like to be better, good teacher. I would like Baba to say, yes, you are my right hand. Sometimes I have seen, to be honest with you, I've seen it in happening. So, what is your reflection on this, sister?
CS, there could be um, a feeling of, oh, I've not been given a chance, or someone is better than me in giving a class or a Murli. But then, or a lecture, or more opportunities for seva. Baba has said time and again in the Murli, if you're a good student, I think you can be a good teacher. And everyone is not cast in the same mold, right? So that the same goes for all teachers. Teachers today in the Murli also, Baba has said that teachers are number wise, number wise, and we are not cast in the same mold. We're not exactly the same because we all come with our own personalities, but the motivation is the same for all teachers. Being a teacher is also something that one has made a conscious decision to do in their lives. So the intention is in the right place, and it's definitely something. The intention is definitely always there. I feel in all teachers, the desire to make self progress and to help others progress. That is the intention, after all. And if anything that helps, one will use that to learn. So I don't think there would be any jealousy. Uh, we've learned from our teachers, and now in my own case, I've learned from my teachers, and now I am a teacher with them. So they've been so giving, and they've been encouraging to say, okay, it's not like, okay, you stay behind and I'm the one who's ahead. No, let's all be together and let's all join hands and, do Baba's service. And so, a worthy teacher, as Baba rightly said, there is happiness in seeing others, and there's definitely the desire to help each other. That should be the case, to help each other to come forward, to move ahead. And then it's all, the dance of sanskars and the dance of our hisab kitab, as it said, our accounts is always there. But if you're a good student, you'll be a good teacher. So every teacher is first a student and then a teacher. I'm sure as a Lokit teacher also, you would have to make a lot of preparations, learn yourself things that you need to teach your students. And the same goes here. We need to teach ourselves first, and then we can teach others. So, I think that's how it is.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. A very nice discussion about the teacher. But what I feel, when you get a lot from anybody, which changes your life, which changes your attitude, and you become just like what Baba makes us, kaanton se phool. How can you be jealous with that personality? Rather be grateful. Oh my God, this is the person, this is the personality which has made me this time. Whatever I am is due to that personality. So we feel really very grateful to that person. And even I think that grateful word is also very, very small for that. The teacher is just like that. What I feel, if your mansa, vacha and karma became same, if the mansa, vacha and karma become saman, equal, जहां जहां समानता होती है, शांति स्वाभाविक रूप से आ जाती है. That means, जहां जहां समानता है वहां वहां शांति आ जाती है. That means, if the mansa, vacha and karma becomes same, you start transmitting knowledge. You need not speak, but you start transmitting knowledge, the vibration which comes out from you. is the real Om Shanti. Om, A, U, and Ma, Acharan, Ucharan, and Manasa become same. Shanti comes automatically. And in that state of mind, what happens? You start penetrating personalities. And what I feel about the teacher is that this quality of Samanta, of Manasa, Vacha, and Karmana, and he attains a state of silence, and in that process, it transmits. And what I've understood about the word teacher, the teacher is the first T. It transforms himself first and then transforms the world. Just like what Brahma Baba did. He became Brahma from, he was something different, but he became Brahma from Dada Likhraj. That's the transformation. If you transform, for the first quality of a teacher is that he has to transform himself and then he can transform the world. The next letter E, ensure that am I following Srimad line by line, word by word or not. Then only he will be able to ensure others that he is going to fulfill all the qualities of Srimad, all the norms of Srimad. And A, first adorn with divine virtues, then only he can adorn others. C, take care of yourself, then he will be taking care of others. H, honest, then only he will penetrate that knowledge. Again, E, he will excel. And the R, that will he will have to be responsible. He have to be Ruhani. And these qualities of a teacher makes a person really grateful that yes, whenever I see my teacher, oh my God, what he has done to me. I'm really grateful to that personality. So never ever you can have jealousy with your teacher. If you're having jealousy with your teacher, that means there is something wrong with you. You really feel grateful. Teacher is like a mother. You cannot be jealousy with your mother. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Didi, interesting time. Invited to meditation.
Ask any child, what do you want to become? At least when we were young, if you ask any child, what do you want to become? When you are older, they would always say, I want to be a teacher. Such is the influence of a teacher on the child. Whether the child is physically young or the child is new in Gyan, new in a certain knowledge, there is a deep impact that a teacher has on the student. And so, yeah, being a teacher is a responsibility. You're responsible for how the student will turn out in the end. And here it's, of course, you know that it goes both ways, a student and a teacher. It's the capacity of the student to absorb what's been given, and it's also the capacity of the teacher to help a student, no matter how weak that student may be, or also if a student is very intelligent, it's the task of a teacher to guide them in the right way so that their talents are used fruitfully in the right way, and their energies are also properly utilized so that they are also content. And so Baba said in today's Murli that a teacher, worthy teacher, is someone who's always content. When there's a desire, that makes you discontented. When there's a desire in a lokic way, then there is discontentment. Even amongst teachers, that could be one of the reasons where there is a desire to, where there's a desire for name or for a position or for fame, that could make you discontented. But primarily, if I remember, I'm a teacher, and what is my task? Who's my model? Who's my role model? So things become very clear, and it's even if there are some weaknesses that come along the way, as a good student, when you keep learning, Baba is the teacher who teaches us every single day. So of course, there are chances for you to correct yourself and to, be a good, role model for others, and to, if whatever position that one is put in, to be the best in that position is what Baba, as a teacher, helps us to do. Sometimes I really think Baba is such a wonderful teacher. Of course, Baba is a wonderful teacher all the times, but then it hits you sometimes so strongly that Baba is so wonderful in teaching things in this way. So they are words, but the words are so, so powerful because behind the words is the thought and the intention.
Om Shanti, I want to add one line. What I feel that teachers are like the spotters. They can make you something different what you are. पहले मिट्टी से घड़ा बनाने वाले टीचर होते हैं. And what I feel that if I am an art, my teacher is my artist. If I am an art, my teacher is artist. If I am a painting, my teacher is the painter. If I am a statue, my teacher is a sculptor. What I feel, Om Shanti.
Didi, shall we move on to meditation?
Om Shanti. So let us first and foremost thank Baba, the Supreme Teacher, for all the teachings, the ins and outs of this life, the ins and outs on the spiritual path. Thank you, Baba, for getting me started, for teaching me, for being the best teacher who has taught me compassion. Baba, as a teacher, awakens in me the desire to be a teacher for others also, for those who are uninitiated, yet to begin on the spiritual path, to help others transform from thorns to flowers. Thank you, Baba, for helping me see the potential of divinity in every soul that I meet. And it is this vision that helps me become compassionate And this compassion makes me want to be a better student and a better teacher. For all that you've taught me, I hope to be an embodiment of the teachings. I thank you, Baba, for helping me realize where I'm faltering, where I need to change, for being the constant guide, unwavering in your support. Helping me see what I need to be, unwavering and forging ahead. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Reena Ben. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Till that time, have a lovely day.
Om Shanti.